In this tutorial, we will be going over how to install Linux on Windows with the Windows subsystem for Linux. So you can get to this page by either looking up this term here or going to this link you see up there, and it should bring you to the Windows article for downloading and this and whatnot. So what we're going to do is use this WSL install command. We're not going to do the manual installation just because it takes a little longer, more involved. And then we're going to go down to these basic commands right here. You can either get it through this link or just look up basic commands for WSL. It should bring you to the right page, and we're going to go over some of those to get you started. So the first thing you're going to need to do is open up your terminal. You're going to need to open this as an administrator. So you do that in Windows by right-clicking on the application. Should be an option to open it as an administrator. And then once you do that, you're going to use the command WSL --install. Now, I'm not going to actually run this because I've already installed WSL, but once you do this, it should take maybe 5 or so minutes, and then you're going to need to restart your machine once it's done. So now that you've run that, hopefully, and everything went fine, you're gonna get it going with the first couple commands. First one is WSL-L-V. This gives you a verbose list of the things you have. So the WSL version, the state of the distribution, and the name of the distribution. And for all your distributions, this will be just a big list. The same command can be done with --list, -- for boths. So it's just the full words with 2 dashes instead of 1. Just a shorthand for the flags is -L-V. -L-O will give you a list of all the dependencies available to download online. So you can see there's things like Debian, other versions of Ubuntu. And if we want to install any of these, we use this command it gave us here, wsl.exe-install distribution name. So I'm going to go ahead and do this with Debian just to show you guys how it works. It should do it fine. Oh yeah, I had a syntax error here. I didn't include the actual dashes, so that's important when you include flags in a command. Do that real quick. And once you do the initial WSL installation, all the others should be pretty quick. So that's pretty nice. I'm going to do the verbose list again, and we can see now Debian is also listed here. So the next thing we'll go over is this version right here. So this is either WSL version 1 or 2. And we can change this with the command WSL-set-version, and then the name of the distribution, and then which version we want. So we're in version 2. Let's say we wanted version 1. We'll enter that in. It might take a little bit of time. And now it's done. We can verbose list. And we see we indeed have version 1 for this. So the next thing is the distribution, whichever one is your default. So that's marked by the star, and you can change that with the command WSL-set-default. The distribution name. So if I want to set Debian as a distribution, I can do that as a default. Verbose list, and we see Debian is at the top of the list, and it has this star now. I actually don't want Debian to be the default, so I'm going to set it back to Ubuntu. And then the next thing is this state right here. So this shows you whether or not the subsystem is actually running. And you can run it if it's your default, you run it with WSL.exe. And if it's not the default, you do -D. And that's like a flag for indicating you want to run a specific distribution, and then followed by the distribution name. I just want to run Ubuntu, so I just do WSL.exe. And you can see now we've been put into a Linux terminal. And so now the subsystem is running, and we can do any of the normal Linux stuff you might be used to. So like the clear command, obviously, we can go into directories. Like I've made a random directory, cd random stuff. I can list out the files I have in there. So yeah, all the normal Linux stuff. And then to exit this, you just type in the word exit, and it should take you back to your other terminal, the PowerShell here. So, little caveat though, if I do a verbose list, we can see the state is still running. So just exiting out of it does not kill the terminal. To do that, you need to use the command wsl -- terminate and then the name of the distribution. So Ubuntu is running, so we'll terminate Ubuntu. And we can see the state is now stopped. Another command is to get rid of a distribution that you've installed. So let's say I wanted to get rid of Debian. I would use the command wsl -- unregister, and then the distribution name. So I want to unregister Debian here. Might take a couple seconds to unregister, and if I do the verbose list, we see it has been taken out of our list. And then one last command, if you want to see all these commands that we've gone over and more, wsl -- help. So yeah, now that we've gone over all these commands, you can go through this on your own, and you should have a working Linux subsystem to use PyAlps in now. So yeah, hopefully this helped.